Are you burned out? Have you been burned out before? Have you found the advice that experts give very frustrating and ineffective? This is the first part in a three-part series about how to prevent burnout beyond the basics. I hope it's helpful for you. All right, welcome, Hopeful Tribe. Let's start out with a definition of burnout, just in case people aren't familiar with it. What is burnout? Coined by the psychologist Herbert Freudenberger in the 1970s, burnout describes a severe stress condition that leads to severe physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. Much worse than ordinary fatigue, burnout makes it challenging for people to cope with stress and handle day-to-day responsibilities. People experiencing burnout often feel like they have nothing left to give and may dread getting out of bed each morning. They may even adopt a pessimistic outlook towards life and feel hopeless. Burnout doesn't go away on its own, and if left untreated, it can lead to serious physical and psychological illnesses like depression, heart disease, and diabetes. Here are some common signs of burnout, which include exhaustion, isolation, escape fantasies, irritability, and frequent illness. And here are the basics of what the experts say can prevent burnout. Exercise, eat a balanced diet, practice good sleep habits, ask for help. Oh, these are all very scientifically proven things to help people not get burnt out. However, what they don't tell you is how you're supposed to do all that while you're burnt out. You're already exhausted. There's no way you're going to do that. Can you tell me the last time you were exhausted that you decided to go for a run? So that's why I made this video. This is part one of a three-part series of how to prevent burnout beyond the basics. This is very important, advanced information for your well-being. So please subscribe right now if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell so you won't miss parts 2 and 3. First of all, the system was set up so that you'd burn out. Workaholism, compulsive behavior causes you to work more, which makes you have to pay more taxes, which is good for the GDP and all of that stuff. This helps the system keep running. But it doesn't care that it's burning you out. You are expendable. We are but widgets to the system. So if we don't take care of ourselves, no one's going to do it. If we're running like hamsters on a wheel, trying to keep up and work hard, then we're going to have a hard time thinking critically about the situation we're in. Number 2, leave the church of hard work and suffering. They don't need your money either, okay? Just walk out. Don't even look behind to see if you left your wallet on the pew. Just get out. Hard work is not a virtue, and neither is suffering. And let me tell you how we all got so confused. If you're like me, your parents were already bona fide devotees of the Church of Hard Work and Suffering. My mom grew up really poor in the Philippines, and her mom worked very hard and suffered so that she could put 6 of her children through medical school and then send each one here. And I grew up with that story. I believed in the whole American dream story, which honestly, back in the 50s and 60s was a thing, was way easier to accomplish. But anyway, that's another video. I grew up believing that hard work and suffering were good and just a normal part of life. And then I got out into the world, and the larger culture completely reinforced my beliefs. I got A's because I worked so hard. I got praise because I worked so hard while raising children. It was very frustrating because I worked mostly in nonprofits, and they would often give lip service to self-care and boundaries, and yet give you unreasonable amounts of work to accomplish. It was very frustrating. Also, what I saw was that the people who seemed to work hardest and suffer the most were the ones who tended to get promoted. And you probably think, oh, wait, they got promoted, so they got more money. Yes, they got more money, a little bit more money, maybe a bump, of 10,000 or more a year, but their quality of life also went down. And to me, there's no amount of money that's worth that. If your hard work is preventing you from being healthy, it's not worth it. It's really not. We need you here. Number 3, create some shop rules or negotiate some. All right. Shop rules are just rules that people who are in unions have to follow, right? So when I started being self-employed again, I created some shop rules for myself so that I wouldn't make myself work beyond what was healthy. It's really an easy trap to fall into when you're self-employed, especially if you're really excited and passionate about your new business. You can just work yourself into the ground, and then consistency, that's not going to be possible because you worked so hard for 3 weeks in a row, you can't possibly do anything the 4th week. Or worse yet, you work so hard the first few weeks, you end up getting sick. And so then you're in the hospital and you can't do a thing. If you're self-employed or you're a student, you can just think about the things that are going to help you stay on track with your health, and then post them somewhere conspicuous. I even have a picture of my shop rules on my phone in case I start getting out of line while I'm out. I can refer to the shop rules. And if you're worried that you're not going to follow your shop rules, ask a good friend to be your shop steward. And once a week, check in with you about how you're doing with your shop rules. Okay? So that's for people who are students or self-employed. Now, for those of you who are employed, this is going to be more tricky. In this case, you're going to need to figure out a good approach. Try to figure out a good time to negotiate your shop rules with your employer. I suggest waiting until they need something from you and then saying, I'd be happy to do that. Would you mind doing this for me? Number 2, if you are employed, I suggest you change your mindset and act as if you're self-employed, because here's what's going to happen. You will always be looking out for better opportunities. Always be looking for other opportunities. Always be searching for better opportunities. That way, if a difficult set of circumstances arise at work, you can walk away without any worries. Also, it's good to keep a little nest egg. Okay, here's your question of the day. Which of these advanced burnout prevention techniques will be hardest for you? And remember, this is the first part in the 3-part series on how to prevent burnout beyond the basics. So please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss parts 2 and 3. All right? Welcome home, Hopeful Tribe. Welcome home. You are home. Come on in. Tell me where you've been. I've been waiting for you, hoping that while we're apart, you felt loved and hopeful every moment in your heart. Welcome home. You are home. Come on in. Tell me how you've been.